We've generated over 20,000 leads for our agency using this simple strategy that pairs Instagram with AI. And in this video, what I'm gonna walk you through is a step-by-step guide how you can implement the same strategies from the offer, from the creative to actually setting up the automations into your agency so that you can finally get rid of the months of feast or famine, stop relying on word of mouth referrals, and finally scale your agency predictably and on easy mode. Let's get into it. What I see a lot when it comes to agencies is they struggle with how to predictably get leads. They are relying solely on word of mouth and referrals. They are dealing with the months of feast or famine where one month it's super good and the next month they're struggling for work. The problem with this in just simply relying on word of mouth and referrals is you will never have a predictable engine that you can turn on and off. That will then lead you to actually being able to scale, hire, build systems, and confidently get to that next level. One of the best things that we can do as agencies is come up with a predictable way to get leads, because if you have the leads, that is really the lifeblood of scaling. So instead, what we need to do is we need to come up with that process that we can turn on and off, that process where if we're overwhelmed in fulfillment, we can turn down our lead gen, or if we need more leads, then we can confidently turn something on in order to actually get new business. And that's exactly what I want to explain to you today. A lot of people try the SEO, the paid ads, the cold DMing, only to struggle with actually getting results. This has generated over 20,000 leads, multiple 7 figures in revenue. What I'm about to share with you can literally copy and paste inside of your business, so you no longer have to deal with that inside of your business. So the first thing, and most importantly, that we want to figure out, that we want to dial in, is our offer. Okay, so what I say here is we want to create an irresistible offer. That could mean marketable, that could mean outcome driven, whatever it could be. What I see a lot of people do when it comes to offers, their offer is weak. A lot of people are either just order takers, they're doing whatever the client wants them to do, or they don't have the positioning that actually speaks to the pain and the outcome of the customer. So what we need to do here is we need to come up with a few things. The first thing that we need to come up with is our target audience. Who is it that we're actually wanting to work with? We need to come up with the pain points. What are the pain points that our target audience deals with? What are the outcomes that they want? What are the steps to outcome that they want? And what is the unique mechanism? Okay, I would call these the core principles of what makes up an irresistible offer, potentially even a guarantee with an asterisk. So let's break this down. So target audience, like, I'm not anti-niche, but I think the audience, we should tie into more of like the outcomes that we can provide. I think if we only target plumbers whose favorite food is pizza and drive a blue car, like our total addressable market gets so limited. We want to kind of play that balancing act of, okay, I want to have a large total addressable market so I can reach a lot of people, and I still want to be able to speak specifically to the people that I'm actually speaking to so they actually respond. Because if you're too general, then you won't hit with anybody. So for this, I'm just going to put home service companies as like an example here. So now what we need to do when it comes to our offer, and you guys can do this with me. So if you have an offer, great. If not, then this would be like a super good exercise for you. But like when it comes to pain points and outcomes, what we want to speak to is we don't want to speak to like, oh, you're not getting views on social media, or oh, you're not getting leads. Like we need to speak the language of the people that we're talking to, so that the language in our marketing, the language in everything that we're doing will actually hit home. So what we can do really simply is just go to ChatGPT. I work with home service companies and help them get leads. Give me their top 5 pain points that are polarizing, and speak to the financial implications of not doing it. And I'll just say and social media content. Okay. So this is something that we can simply do. And what will populate, and what this is like such a big mindset shift for a lot of people, is like they don't have this because they're either order takering or they just say we get leads for people. We want to really speak the language of our customers. Okay. I'm just going to use these because I'm going to use this as an example where I can just show you guys step by step. So pain points, perfect. Now give me the desired outcomes. Because that's the next thing that we want to focus on, is the desired outcomes. Cool. Let's put this in here. Now, what we have are polarizing pain points and polarizing outcomes. which becomes the core of our message, okay? This whole strategy won't work unless we have like the actual copy that's going to speak to our audience, which is going to provoke them to make a response, which is ultimately going to provoke them to become a lead, which is ultimately going to provoke them to want to do business with you, and ultimately you grow your business. So we need to get really clear on this. Speak in the language, make them polarizing, and also make them financial implications. And guys, this can work if you're doing SEO, where it can be like you're missing out on thousands of potential clients. It could work for website development. We can help you convert more from your website. It can work for social media management. Like your competitors are eating your lunch, right? Like people are being seen, best known beats best. Like there's so many different angles that we want to go at with our offer so that we can use it in marketing, so that it actually allows us to get the leads. Some other things, steps to desired outcome. This can kind of be like deliverables. I would just do like ads and social content. Let's just call it that for now. Meta ads. And then unique mechanism. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. We can say mechanism ideas for this offer. Home service growth engine. Authority content framework, smart ad targeting, conversion booking system, local domination formula. That's pretty aggressive. $1 million service funnel. Done for you authority accelerator. I like that one, which will be important. I'm gonna skip the guarantee for now, okay? But for a guarantee like this, I mean, it totally just depends on your offer, but it would be important to add if you guys do have it. So this is the first step, guys. We need to make sure our offer is marketable and our offer is actually speaking to our ideal customers and all that sort of stuff, okay? Next thing that we want to do, again, I just did this in 5 minutes using ChatGPT. So there's no reason that if you are an agency that you can't do the same thing with what you're offering to your clients, just to confirm that everything is polarizing, good, and speaks to the outcomes in the pains of the customers. Okay, so once we have our offer dialed in, the next thing that we want to do is we want to create an ad that is going to actually convert. Okay. So what a lot of people do when they're creating ads is they're like, oh, this is a cool ad and I'm going to press boost and I'm going to hope that I get results from this. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to run an ad to this website and then they're going to fill out this lead form and then they're going to fill out this lead form and then I'm going to follow up with them and I'm going to book call them and all of a sudden you're going to get a piece of business. Like the problem with all these different methods is one, you're either like shooting things, like you're throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping that it sticks. And then two, like you're just teeing yourself up to chase people down all the time. What we want to do with our ad is we want to make it as frictionless, as easy as possible to not only get the lead, but to have a conversation with the lead, to follow up with the lead, to qualify the lead, and to allow them to qualify you. Because if I'm just sending people to a landing page, expecting them to book a call, like I don't know anything about them, like that's just a recipe for getting a bunch of unqualified calls or having to create some complex funnel to go through a bunch of all these qualification steps that is just completely unnecessary. So when we make the creative, what we're doing is we're getting the clients, the people that are going to see the ad, we want them to DM us a specific keyword. Okay, so no VSL funnel, no landing page, no form fill where I have to chase people down, no unqualified prospects, like all that sort of stuff. We're going to just DM us so that we can have a conversation inside of the gram. Okay, so with that, like there's a ton of different ways that you can do it, but what's most important is that our copy is actually going to provoke a response. Okay. Copywriting for sure is one of the most underrated tools that an agency can learn because if your copy is good, then everything else will be great. Copy is basically influencing through words, influencing through what people see, okay? So there's a few different ways that we do this. You can do a video ad that really speaks to the pain points. You could do like a B-roll ad, which I'm going to show you how to do. You could do carousel, all the things, right? In this case, I'm just going to show you like a B-roll ad. So I have a really, really simple ChatGPT prompt that we can use. And what I can do is I can just simply paste my ChatGPT prompt. I can go to my offer breakdown, essentially. I can copy this. I'm gonna say, using my offer breakdown, write me an ad following a specific format. So the intention really here is we want to get them to DM us, okay? And we want to speak to the pain points that we've identified in our offer breakdown and the desired outcomes that they want in the offer breakdown that we created. This, for example, what we could simply do is I could basically copy this copy exactly, send it to myself, create an Instagram story of maybe like something contextual, okay? Whether it's like localized or whether it's like something home servicey, cool. That could be something that you could easily do. So once we have the ad, we're pretty much ready to rock, okay? Like the good thing with like ChatGPT, especially if we feed it our offer breakdown, that I can film as a video, make it 80 words, whatever. So now it could give us a video, right? That we could actually film using an offer breakdown. Cool. So a lot of different like options we can do. What's important is that the pain is really clear, the outcome is really clear, and we're using proven frameworks for the ads. But for the sake of this, the B-roll one will be perfectly fine because the B-roll one is proven and it checks all the boxes. So now, once we have our ad, we just need to create an Instagram story, like alternatively videos, etc. Copy is king, 100%. Once we have our creative, all we really need to do is then post and launch this, okay? So I put launch ads and launch content. So let me just go ahead and whip together this ad real quick. Next thing we need to do is we need to launch it, okay? So the easiest way to launch it is, there's several ways that you can launch it. You can do an engagement ad on Instagram, you can do, or an engagement ad on the ads library, or you can just simply post it and boost it with the call to action of messages. Option one is to run an engagement ad. So if you go to your ads manager and you go to create ad, if you go to create, then what we want to do is click on engagement, continue. And then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to create an ad that has a call to action of getting people to message you a specific keyword. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create an engagement campaign. And then with the engagement campaign, what we'll be able to do is we can create the ad set. So we're gonna select our Instagram account, which will be what we want people to message us. We can set our ad budget, and then we can choose our audience based off of who is that we're actually targeting, all that good stuff, who we want to exclude, age, all that good stuff. And then down below under placements, what I like to do from a placement perspective is do manual placements. And I just want it on Instagram, and I just want it on the feed, and then in stories and reels. Okay, so I don't want it here. I just want it on stories, reels, profile reels. Perfect. Then next, and then I can go ahead and upload this bad boy and publish it. So that is how we would then launch the ad. The other option is you could boost it. Like, really depends on your audience. I've had a lot of success with boosting it, as I know the media buyers are gonna be like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you thinking? I've had success with simply boosting an ad like this and letting Meta's audience do the work for us. So create an engagement ad, a lot more specificity with the audience targeting and whatnot, or you can just post it on your feed and boost it. A lot simpler to boost it, and Meta's performance on that has actually been pretty solid. Cool, so now that we have our offer, we have our creative done, we've launched our ads. The next thing that we want to do is automate. Okay, we want to free up time with automation, because what's gonna happen is people are gonna start DMing us leads, and I'm gonna think, what the heck do I do? How do I respond to these people? How do I get back to them fast enough? All that sort of stuff. So this is where the fun part comes in. We use a tool called Manychat. So Manychat basically allows us to anytime somebody DMs me a specific keyword, I can automatically send them a message. I can have a conversation that's seemingly me. I can track everything inside of Manychat, and I can be able to basically keep the conversation going and optimize for speed to lead. So to get Manychat, like all you need to do is go to manychat.com, you sign up for an account, and on the left-hand side, you connect to your Instagram account, and it will detect anytime somebody that DMs me the word leads. So now what I can do is I can set up automation. So if I go to automations, what I can do is I can click on new automations and I can create from scratch, okay? So there's so many, like they have an AI tool that can help you build something. Like there's so many different ways to do it, but I'm gonna do this manual so you can fully understand. So for us, the trigger is going to be user sends a message, okay? So what we're going to do, because our ad says leads, and we want to change this to message is leads, doesn't contain, because sometimes like they'll say leads in like a conversation and then it'll trigger it, which is not what we want to happen. So we're going to say when somebody sends us the message of leads, we're going to send a message back. What I like to do, and I'll do this here, is I like to do a little smart delay for 11 seconds, play a little hard to get. And then what we do is we go to Instagram, we can send them a message. And the key here is to be human because they're DMing you. Like I see a lot of people like throwing crazy bots and like chat things and selections. It's like, let's just be human here because that's going to make you more human and allow them to connect with you and you to connect with them, which ultimately helps you close the deal. Yo, thanks for responding. Cool if I ask some questions about your business. Easy enough. What you can also do, and what we like to do as well every now and then, which I think is massive for Manychat, is you can actually upload a voice note. So you could literally record a voice note and send a voice note. Okay, that has helped us a lot in getting responses, but for the sake of this, I'm gonna keep this training very, very simple because I want you guys to be executing this right now. So we have the first message, perfect, awesome. I think that's good enough right now. I'll show you more later, and if you do want to see more from Manychat, you can click on the videos on the screen, maybe up top. That will explain a lot more how you can implement more of Manychat's capabilities. But for this, keeping it simple. So the next thing that we want to do is we're going to click on actions. In the action, we're going to add a tag. Okay, so I'm going to add a tag of leads. Okay. So if I click on add tag, perfect. So now when somebody messages me, I wait 11 seconds. So if someone messages me the word leads, essentially, it's going to wait 11 seconds and it's going to send a message and it's going to tag them. Okay. And then what I can do is I can change this to leads DM and I can go ahead and set live. And if I click right here, I can preview this. Looks awesome. Cool. That's how we set it up easily with Manychat for speed to lead and for tracking, which is going to be super, 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 super important. Setting up Manychat alone has saved us hours and probably increased our likelihood of closing deals and the ability to close deals by a ton, because the problem without something like Manychat is we have no way of tracking these leads, and speed to lead being probably the most important thing when it comes to doing this type of a model for getting leads. You're going to want to have automation set up. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not spending that much, it's not gonna be that much. But it's like people could DM in the middle of the night. And if you're responding, or people could DM while you're exercising at a fitness class, whatever it could be, it's like, you don't want to be glued to your phone, like waiting for automation. You can have peace of mind knowing that automation is going to take this for you and be able to track it, okay? Free up time with automation. And of course, Manychat is the best bet, 1000%. Now what we can do is we can measure and improve what's doing well, okay? So what I like to do, I like to connect Manychat into our CRM. So what I'll simply do is I'll use a tool like Zapier, okay? And what I'll do is I'll create a Zap that basically says, when Manychat triggers a new tagged user on my Manychat account, and I can choose the tag of leads that we just created. I can test. There's no data. Now, what I can have it do is I can have it add it to my CRM automatically. So in this case, I'm gonna use something like Notion, okay? So I'm gonna add it to I'm gonna have it create a database item in my Notion under my CRM, okay? So now every time somebody DMs me, Now they're going to get added to my CRM. And now I can follow up and use my CRM to keep track of everything. And how that looks is just like this. So we have what's called a leads operating system. So anytime somebody opts in, they're going to go inside of this funnel right here, which will be like the initiated funnel is what we call it. And now if I'm setting appointments, trying to close deals, I can work these. I can stay organized. I can see how many calls I booked, how many were disqualified, how many people I'm following up with from all the leads that I'm getting. And I can do that by integrating Manychat with Zapier to a tool like Notion so that I can measure and see how things are actually working and make sure that my campaigns are actually successful. As you grow and scale your agency, what's going to be the most important thing is having the data and making sure you have systems and data in place, and then you just make decisions based off of the systems and data, as easy as that. I can see how many leads, I can see when they opted in, I can see the data for each lead. I can go to my dashboard and I can see all of the leads that we've gotten, or how many book calls we booked in November, how many book calls in January. This is a fake one, by the way. How many people are in the initiated bucket, how many people I'm reconnecting with, what's my lead to booking ratio, all the important metrics for you as an agency to make informed decisions, okay? And what you'll also be able to do is this will tie to your media buying, where you can see how many leads you're getting, how many opt-ins, what's like the opt-in word that's working the best for you. So you can test different ones, etc., to make sure that you're actually efficient with everything. So how we do that is Zapier plus CRM, okay? And we like Notion. So guys, that's the easiest way by far, after all of the lead gen mechanisms that I've tried to get leads on your Instagram today, using AI automation and Manychat and meta ads. Again, creating the irresistible offer, making it marketable. Then we talked about making creative that converts, making sure you're speaking to the pain points and desired outcomes of your customers, and you're following a formula that gets them to DM you a specific keyword. Then we launched the ads and content, like, again, not limited to ads, like you could post DM me leads literally everywhere in your bio, all that sort of stuff. Post the content, run the engagement ad, boost post, whatever it is that you decide to do to funnel more people to your business. And then step 4, hands down, most important step, set up the automation with Manychat. So when people do DM you, you have speed to lead and you increase your likelihood of actually closing them. And then lastly, measuring, because what you don't measure, you will not improve. So what you measure, you will improve, which is important. Guys, so we covered a lot in this video. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want a more in-depth rundown how to set up your first automation in Manychat, go ahead and click the video on the screen so that you can get going ASAP. So be sure to also check that video out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.